Well, probably get a good kick tonight, or try. It's a difficult defeat, but you know, at this point you have to try and take any positives you can, and it's difficult because the start was disastrous. And the only positives I can take is the unbelievable heart and guts and nuts that he showed to never give up. And I said in the change room, I said, you know, the amount of times I've heard over the years a fighter say, you know, I will rather get knocked out than try and survive or lose on points. I will go out on my shield. He went out on his shield. Even when he didn't have his legs, he was trying to land the right hand and he was trying to find a way back in the fight. And remarkably, as bad as he performed tonight, or as many mistakes that he made, he still could have won the fight. You know, 4th round he hurt Dubois, 5th round Dubois' legs buckled, and at that point I think this is going to be one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen. But walked on to a crushing right hand, and unfortunately there was no getting up from the last one. Yeah, I mean, we have a contracted fight with Riyadh season that could include the Daniel Dubois rematch. I think we need time. You know, I mean, I don't think he could have boxed much worse tonight, but you have to give Dubois brilliant, you know, plenty of credit. He was brilliant tonight. He put the pressure on. We knew that he'd be dangerous in the early part of the fight, and the start couldn't have been worse, really. AJ will believe that he can box much better and beat him, but Dubois is going to be full of confidence. And we have to look what happens on December 21st. If Tyson Fury wins, or if Tyson Fury loses. But no immediate rush, but I know what AJ's like, and he would love to have another crack at it.
Eddie,
Yeah, we knew Dubois, he returns all the time when you jab, so that was something that we was looking to capitalise on. For whatever reason, you know, things didn't get going as we'd like to in the early part of the fight. That was just one of the things that we was looking to pick up on. Obviously there was a few other things as well, but just didn't manage to get the things that we was looking to get going early. And then a couple of things that we was looking on to capitalise on, like Eddie said at the end, there was a couple of very short spells of it, and one of those was when he managed to land that right hand, and then there was a couple of things we wanted to do to follow up moments like that, and just didn't apply it the way we'd prepared to, unfortunately. But by that point, a lot had gone on, you know, he's not thinking straight. So, yeah, difficult, very difficult pill to swallow.
Eddie,
I guess he's trying to tell him he's all right, but was that at you? So it was about 10 seconds before he went on the other side of the fight.
No, I was asking for something from him, and he sort of said, like, I'm okay, let me know he's okay, actually talking in there. And then he come back for the last round and just said to me, these are the moments that we live for, you know, and talked about rolling the dice, and that's what he done. And like Eddie said, you know, a lot of people talk about when they're having an off night, and that was an off night, and, you know, I'd just like to say that me and my team have received a hell of a lot of credit for good performances that he's had. So it's important that we take responsibility for the bad performance as well. So we're willing to do that. But you spoke about rolling dice, and like I say, a lot of people talk about when things aren't going well, I'll go out on my shield. But he did that tonight, and a lot of people talk about, oh, is he hesitant to let his hands go? He showed he's not. He let his hands go. Unfortunately, he come off with a short straw tonight. But yeah, obviously we're very gutted.
Eddie, another positive 96,000 at Wembley Stadium. Sorry, Eddie. One positive in the fight. I mean, 96,000 at Wembley Stadium tonight. A lot of people would argue without Anthony Joshua, considerable amount of stadium fights wouldn't be filled the way they were. I mean, how do you reflect on kind of, I mean, the massive crowd in there to support Anthony Joshua tonight?
It was incredible, and you know, I think Daniel Dubois deserves a lot of credit as well. You know, I don't think he was disrespected as the champion, but he was the clear B-side in the fight, and he come out as a star tonight as well. You know, I think he's a handful. You know, he's a good young man, and he's come back from a lot as well. You know, people have written AJ off before in the past. We all wrote Daniel Dubois off, me included. You know, and actually he showed again tonight. So I took some good shots tonight. You know, and it was only really when the 4th and 5th round come that I was thinking, actually, we could start breaking him down here. But by then, like Ben said, you know, because of the start, it's so difficult without a clear head to actually apply the things that he's been working on. And even then, you know, my dad messaged me, he said, wow, he said, made so many basic errors and still could have won the fight. You know, and that's a positive to take out of it. That I said to him, you've got to be proud you even found a way back into the fight. Because after the 2nd round, for me, the fight's done. It's over. And, you know, people always question people's heart. You know, even the last knockout, he's up, he's trying, scrambling to get up. He couldn't have tried another inch. And that's all you can give to people, you know. And I think when you do that, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I might not have been good enough tonight, but I've tried my nuts off, and I gave everything. And I spoke to him last night, and he said to me, I'm ready to go to the trenches tomorrow night. He went all the way in the trenches. You know, people try to talk about taking a knee, spitting a gumshoe out. I mean, listen, when Daniel Dubois hit him in the nuts in the 3rd or 4th round, I'm screaming at AJ to take the full 5 minutes. Like, that's actually a little bit of inexperience. Like, at that point when he couldn't stand up, he's been hit full blown in the conkers, right? All he's got to do to the ref is just, you know, that's not him. He just went to ref, I'm fine, come on, let's go. And I'm like, no, what are you doing? And then it happened again. Because he just came to fight tonight. And, you know, when you talk about entertainment, maybe vulnerability, but also a huge puncher that's prepared to let his hands go. It was a hell of a fight, you know, and like I said, as gutted as we are, Daniel deserves a lot of credit because tonight was his crowning night. Not being elevated to interim champion, tonight was the night that I believe he'd become a real world champion. And, you know, he's got a big future ahead of him as well.
6,000 people, but we'll all agree he showed so much heart tonight. How much admiration do you have for him for doing that?
Always, because I think when you, it's not just the admiration of being in the ring, it's the admiration of how he lives his life, how consistent he is working with Ben, and the achievements that he's had in his career, the money that he's made, and he still wants it more than ever. And, you know, I think, you know, unless there's something Ben's not telling me or AJ's not telling me, which I know there isn't, camp was good. You know, like, no excuses, well prepared, nice and confident, looked unbelievable in the changing room. I mean, punching so hard. Just had a disastrous start. And unfortunately, against a big, strong puncher, it's hard to recover. And, you know, he nearly did. But the admiration is not just about what he did tonight. He went to deeper depths tonight than I thought he would or could, in all honesty. And that's total respect for him, because it's not just hanging on. It's standing there and letting your hands go when your legs are gone. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a difference. Someone comes in and they lose every round, they go 12 rounds and it's a little bit of a celebration. Oh yeah, I lost not. He was like, he was either going to get knocked out or he was going to flatten Daniel Dubois. And unfortunately, it was the first one.
Ben,
Eddie,
you apparently arrived quite late to the stadium. Was that part of the plan? And if it wasn't, do you think that might have factored into that soft start we spoke about?
There was a bit of traffic and he did turn up slightly later than we would have planned, but being honest, you know, he was very well prepared. You know, we knew Daniel was going to start fast. There was nothing that shocked us in there. Oh, we didn't expect him to do that. Just whatever reason got off to a bad start. And, you know, it's very early, coming off the back of the fight. We'll go back, we'll review what we could have done better, of course, and go from there.
Eddie,
Yeah.
when it comes to Anthony Joshua, across social media, some people will look at him 34, going to be 35. There'll be talks of, is this the time to retire? What will you say to AJ in terms of his future?
Well, I mean, you know, everyone's very fickle, aren't they? Yesterday, he's in the form of his life, never looked better. Wow, this is unbelievable, this new resurgence. Has a bad start, you know. dropped, tries to recover his feet and just goes to war, basically with no legs, and finds a way back into the fight and then walks onto one. So it's heavyweight boxing, and that's the dangers of this fight. We said before, you know, Frank was talking about Hagler Hearns. I mean, you know, it takes a lot of beating that kind of fight, but it was a thriller. And, you know, we just felt that maybe the tide was about to change, but you have to give Daniel credit. I'm going to pass the mic to AJ. I've explained you wanted to come and do this. I told you not to, but you always do it. We're not going to take questions, but you wanted to say a few words.